to 2 News at noon. A plane in distress makes an emergency landing at Dayton International Airport. Officials tell 2 News 140 people were on board, some treated by medics there at the scene. Jordan Burgess has been at the report all day. He's live now with the latest. Jordan?
Well, Marsha, I just got off the phone with an American Airlines official, and he tells me that, in fact, there were 4 people taken to the hospital. Now, 2 of them were actually taken to be treated. A third person was a family member who went with one of the other 2 people, and the 4th person was actually a flight attendant who went along to check on those people and also to be checked out herself. Now, just a few minutes ago, the plane that is still here at the Dayton International Airport was actually taxiing down the runway a little bit here and there, and American Airlines officials told me that's probably to be able to give them enough room at the gate to land the plane that they're bringing in to try to take those passengers on to Chicago where they were going. But that was in fact the plane that was used in that emergency landing that had just been taxiing down the runway a little bit ago. And we want to show you some video from earlier this morning, and this is what it looked like as rescue crews hurried to help the passengers and crew on board American Airlines Flight 547. Now, initial reports from the airport's aviation director were that half a dozen passengers were looked at, and again that those 4 were taken to local hospitals. Now, the flight was on its way from Washington, D.C.'s Reagan International Airport to Chicago O'Hare with 126 passengers and 6 crew members on board. Now, apparently this flight had problems before it even got off the ground with a delay for a mechanical issue, but we're not sure if that's related to what caused those passengers to get sick. Now, American Airlines officials tell us that 2 flight attendants first started to feel dizzy, and then a handful of passengers actually felt faint. The plane's oxygen masks were deployed. Now, the pilot thought it might be an air system problem that affected the cabin pressure, but that is still under investigation at this hour, and he decided to make an emergency landing, and that's when the airport's emergency crews rolled into action.
You know, that's part of operating the airport. It's part of the city's responsibility and the staff out here, so we're certainly, anticipate things like this and try to be prepared to respond to them. Hopefully, every time they're like this one where we have a fairly good result.
And again, at this point, those passengers still here at the Dayton International Airport, but American Airlines officials tell me they have a plane on the way from Chicago to try to take them over to Chicago where they were originally headed. And they also told me that they have some mechanics on that plane who will take a look at the plane that had the problems here and see if there's anything they can do to it here. Otherwise, that plane will be ferried to some other place where they're able to work on it and find out what that problem might be. So a scary situation this morning, but it seems like it might have a good resolution. Jordan Burgess, 2 News on your side.